Shalom, 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 shalom. Kol halalim la Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom to the prophets of that body. A hearty shalom to them. And shalom to the 144,001 third. May peace and blessings be upon you and your households and the spirit of endurance. We're going home very soon. Okay, the Lord, His Majesty Yahweh Shai is around the corner. All right. Lord willing, coming very soon to scoop up the elect, whoever they are, across the four corners of the earth. Okay. Sometimes you feel like a child, waiting on the stoop at school, waiting for your big brother to come and pick you up. Yahweh Shai being like our big brother and all, Lord willing, But anyway, I digress. Now, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yashai is, breaking up this kingdom piece by piece. We can see how the Lord, He's using His left-hand side entities to push specific people that are going to be pushed into that corner of having no way out, seeing no light at the end of the tunnel. And then when that light is seen, it's going to be something completely gruesome. And it's going to be, as you know, they're already pushing the digital wallet. Okay. Everything's pretty much digital anyway, but with a digital wallet, it's going to take it a step further. And then a level above that will be the RFID CHIP, which is the charagma. All right. And with all these companies shutting shop, right, downsizing staff, okay, and also government shutdowns like in the States, where some people are actually going to work, some people are not, and they haven't had a paycheck for over 30 days. Some people are living paycheck to paycheck. A lot of people don't have that disposable income anymore. So a lot of people are being pushed into a corner. And this is going to keep going on and on and on. Right? And then when the powers that be on the left-hand side do bring out that so-called solution, because problem, reaction, solution, Hegelian dialectic, is going to be completely something adverse or completely different to what you once thought of. We're talking about the heathen and the two-third. We're not talking about you jakes that are in the truth, that believe in Yahweh Bashem Yashai and put all your faith in Yahweh Bashem Yashai, which you're supposed to, right? Okay, so a lot of these people are going to be pushed into that corner, all right? Because when things are hunky-dory and things are lovely, things, hell no, man, I'm not taking no CHIP in my hand, no way, or my head, no way, I'm going to go out there and grind, I'm going to go out there and graft. But lo and behold, that grinding is ceasing, all right? I'm going to read a scripture, then I'm just going to read a little bit of an article. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, all right? I'm going to try and keep it short and snappy, because I know the attention span of Jake, which is pretty much how we all are, is limited because, I'm so many things are happening, and you're always moving from one video to the next because, so eager just to get the hell out of this. Oh, I hate this world. All right, let's go. Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. Okay, no work in Egypt, no optimism. You're looking out the window, everything seems bleak and dark. People are complaining, people are bitching, people are moaning, people are fed up. People can't, don't have that feel good factor anymore like they used to. All right, the weekends don't even seem like a weekend anymore. It's like the ones that are working, you graft all week, and then when it comes to the weekend, you want to sleep in because you're so damn tired because we don't know what the hell we're eating and drinking. That's why prayer is important. All right, and Esau's pumping wherever he's pumping in the air. People. That's why all this brain fog medication is being pumped out there as well, saying, yeah, you got brain fog, come and get this medication. Because Esau's doing something. But anyway, verse 4. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. Right? Okay? Jake talk. Okay, that's what the Bible is for the Israelites, written by the Israelites, in the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshai, because it's got hip talk in it. The grinding is low, no work. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. All right? No feel-good factor anymore. You know? There's no more music saying everything's going to be all right. You know? Don't worry about a thing. You know? What was Will Smith listening to in his bathtub while he's washing his dog or whatever, or giving his dog a bath in the movie, what was that? I Am Legend. That's when the world was finished, right? And what was he listening to? All right? Old school Bob Marley. All right? Okay, so I'm assuming that that track must have come out in the 80s. All right? And I Am Legend was, what was it? When was that movie made? 2007, right? Okay, so people are going back in time to try and find that feel good factor because it's not there anymore. Everything is bleak, right? Isaiah 19:15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. America is Egypt, hence the reason why they have a pyramid on a dollar bill. And do you ever questioned yourself, why is there a pyramid on the dollar bill? What the hell is a pyramid got to do with America? Because it is Egypt all over again, Rome all over again. Hence the obelisks and other artifacts that are alluding to Rome, Egypt. Okay? Now, let's go to the news segment. 1 second. Where are we? All right, Business Insider. I thought I'll go here. Look at the amount of companies that are shutting shop. We already know about Amazon, 14,000. They said 30,000, but then it's 14,000. Right? And that's, I believe that's on an international scale, not just one specific area. You know? Look at that. All right, I'm just going to skim through it quickly. What the hell is this? It's a long ass article. All right. Now, the list of major companies laying off staff this year includes, and this is right before that wacky, crazy demonic holidays, Turkey Day, Thanksgiving, and that Christmas BS. All right, so a lot of people can cancel all that nonsense. And Brakti Havashim Ashai, I've also noticed as well, this October 31st, that bullshit Halloween crap, I didn't see nobody trick or treating, not one child. I didn't see no decorations, no pumpkins. Hey man, the Lord is destroying this world, man. For real, Brakti Havashim Ashai. The list of major companies laying off staff this year includes Amazon, Starbucks, Oracle, Nike, Carter's, and more. Not to mention UPS and other companies. Right? This is from the 28th of October 2025, 8:44 p.m. Companies such as Nike, Starbucks, Meta, Microsoft, and UPS have trimmed staff this year. Amazon joined the fray in October, announcing that it would cut roughly 14,000 staff. And that's on a corporate level. Okay? See the list of companies letting workers go in 2025. Let's go there. Where are we at? Let's go to this one. I'd rather read this one. The list of companies laying off employees this year is growing. Layoffs and other workforce reductions have continued in 2025 following 2 years of significant job cuts in the tech, media, finance, and manufacturing, retail, and energy sectors. And they're pushing AI heavy. While the reasons for slimming staff vary, the cost-cutting measures are coming amid technological change. That's AI, artificial intelligence. A World Economic Forum, WEF, survey found that some 41% of companies worldwide expect to reduce their workforces over the next 5 years because of the rise of artificial intelligence. 5 years, Lord willing, we're not here that long. I don't want to be here for 5 years. But, you know, if we have to be, we have to be. Tell you how Shai returns. But Lord willing, we're not. Companies such as Oracle, CNN, Dropbox, and Block have previously announced job cuts related to AI. In October, Amazon joined its tech peers in laying off staff, citing the rapid pace of technological change, technocracy, right? Technological change as it expands its use of generative AI and agents. Okay, technological change, then eventually technocracy, right? Once I believe the charagma comes into play. Meanwhile, tech jobs in big data, fintech, and AI are expected to double by 2030, according to the WF. That's what they always say. Once they destroy something, they're going to say afterwards, it's like once they destroy a sandcastle, they're going to say, oh, we're building another sandcastle. It's not ready yet, but it'll be ready in 5 years. You know, they always try and give you sugarcoat some bullshit. Here are the companies with job cuts planned or already underway in 2025, listed in alphabetical order. Adidas plans to cut up to 500 jobs in Germany. Adidas plans to cut up to 500 jobs in Germany. Right. Adidas said in January that it would reduce the size of its workforce at its headquarters in Herzogenaurach, Germany, affecting up to 500 jobs. Okay. Anything else key? Ali is cutting less than 5% of its workers. They're laying off 500 of its 11,000 employees. Okay. We know Amazon 14,000 because Amazon is a huge powerhouse. All right. Applied materials 4%. Oh, Brakya Bashimashai. Applied materials has around 36,100 full-time employees per its earnings release in August, meaning the cuts will affect about 1,444 employees. 144 and 4. Brakya Bashimashai. And the company said it's expected to incur charges of approximately $160 million to 180 million, consisting primarily of severance and other one-time employment termination benefits to be paid in cash and other non-cash related charges. Automatic Tumblr's parent cuts 16% of staff. Best Buy is cutting more Geek Squad staff. I don't know what the hell that is. Is that that's an American thing, right? Geek Squad. BlackRock is cutting 1% of its workforce. Bloody hell. BlackRock told employees it was planning to cut 200 people of its 21,000 strong workforce, Bloomberg reported in January. Block to lay off 1,000 workers. What else we got? I'm just trying to find some well-known organizations. There's a nice little picture there of a rainbow, right? Blue Origin is laying off 1/10 of its workforce. Boeing, we know Boeing, right? 400 roles. BP, very well-known organization, 7,700 staff. Damn. Bridgewater, 90. Bumble said it intends to cut 30% of its workforce. God damn, it's near just close to half. Burberry says it plans on cutting 1,700 jobs. Carter's plans to reduce its office-based workforce by 15%. Chegg is reducing its workforce by 45%. Chevron 20%. CNN 200. ConocoPhillips is cutting 25%. This is beautiful. Coty is cutting 700 jobs. CrowdStrike is cutting 500 jobs. Disney's laying off 700 employees. You know, well, that's a good thing. There'll be less children being, you know what, by these weirdos at Disney, especially in those theme parks. And you shouldn't take your children there, man. I'll tell you that right now. Estee Lauder, 7,000 jobs. That means a whole bunch of women are going to be affected because the women really work in Estee Lauder, don't they? You know, Exxon is cutting 2,000 jobs globally. Fiverr cuts 30% of its workforce. Geico has axed tens of thousands of workers. Grubhub 500. HPE 2500. Look at that. I'm only halfway through yet. Intel 15%. Damn. 2,000 jobs at Johns Hopkins University. Kohl's 10%. Kroger 1,000 jobs. Microsoft several rounds of cuts this year. Meta several rounds of late, several rounds again. Microchip technology slashing 2,000 jobs. Morgan Stanley plans to cuts for the end of March. Okay, so this is articles from 2025, but it's outlining. It's got a combination of things that have happened in 2025 from the start to the end, including Amazon, of course. Nestle is axing 16,000 jobs. Damn. Next door, 12% of its staff. Nike, less than 1% of its corporate employees. Nissan, 20,000 jobs by 2027. Novo Nordisk, 11%. All right. Panasonic is cutting 10,000 jobs. Paramount is cutting 3.5% of its workforce. This is like a song, man. Every time I read this, it's pretty beautiful. You can see Esau's world falling apart. Peloton is looking for 100 million in run rate savings by next year. What is that? Porsche is cutting 3,900 jobs over the next couple of years. Pricewaterhouse, is it PricewaterhouseCoopers? PwC, I think it is. What's PwC? Is it Pricewaterhouse? What is PwC? Nope. Is PwC PricewaterhouseCoopers? Yeah, PricewaterhouseCoopers. Owned by Amalek, of course. Rivian is laying off 600. Salesforce, 1,000 jobs cutting down. Seal AI is cutting 14% of its workforce. All right. Starbucks, 2,000 corporate staff. Okay, let's go here. Let's play a new segment from WeOn.
Layoff settings of America's largest employers is emerging as the clearest sign yet that the US labor market. The wave of mass layoff settings of America's largest employers is emerging as the clearest sign yet that the US labor market, once described as resilient, is beginning to weaken. From logistic giants to tech leaders, tens of thousands of jobs are being cut across industries. In recent weeks, major US companies have announced some sweeping job cuts. UPS is now slashing 48,000 positions, Amazon up to 30,000. Intel is laying off 24,000, and Nestle could lay off 16,000. Even white collar firms like Accenture, PwC, and Salesforce have joined the growing list. Now, automakers and consumer brands are not immune either, and Ford is now cutting down 11,000 jobs. Novo Nordisk about 9,000, Target about 1,800, and Paramount nearly 2,000. In total, these layoffs account for more than 170,000 jobs lost in a span of just the last few months, underscoring the growing fragility of the employment landscape. But before this, let's in fact take a look at the labor data that is available. Official data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that the US job growth has slowed pretty sharply. The monthly increase in the non-farm payrolls has shrunk from 73,000 in July to 22,000 in August. The job growth remains low in the month of June, at least 14,000. The unemployment rate has also inched up to about 4.3% in July, although official data for the month of September has not been released due to the US shutdown. The available numbers suggest that the engine of job growth is losing momentum. Now, on the other hand, the layoffs are creeping into sectors that were previously comparatively shielded, like logistics, manufacturing, and even healthcare. which suggests the softening of the labor market, which is now broadening. The companies cite multiple reasons for the cuts: sluggish demand, overhiring during the pandemic boom, a cautious outlook for 2026. But one of the most important reasons is artificial intelligence and automation.
There you go.
And Amazon vividly illustrates the automation shift. Internal strategy documents obtained by New York Times have revealed that the Amazon executives plan to replace or to avoid hiring more than 500,000 human jobs in the coming years through robotics and AI systems. Now, the company's automation team believes that it can eliminate the need for about 160,000 US workers by 2027. And by 2033, Amazon expects to double its product output without expanding its workforce, effectively cutting out over 600,000 potential jobs. Now, the company's robotics division is working towards automating up to 75,000 of the warehouse operations, a transformation that could ripple through the entire logistics industry, including UPS, FedEx, and Walmart. The broader concern is that as automation expands beyond warehouses into offices, customer service, and finance, even white collar roles could face displacement. The tech companies that once led the hiring boom are now leading the cuts, citing efficiency gains from AI integration. The economists have warned that while automation boosts productivity, it risks exacerbating inequality and weakening consumer demand if workers can't transition fast enough to new roles. For now, though, the layoffs serve as both a symptom and a signal: a symptom of the corporate caution in a cooling economy, but a signal of an emerging era where machines drive growth and not workers. For all the latest news, download the Vion app.
Let's read this Isaiah 19:15 again. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. So you're going to be pushed into the corner very soon. Ecclesiastes 7 and 8. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is a better. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. All right, so we're seeing the demise of this world, and this is all leading to a whole bunch of people, millions of them, okay, because we're approaching end of 2025, and 2026 is going to be significantly worse than 2025. And this is all going to push a whole bunch of people in the corner, okay? And then what's going to be the solution? All right, a lot of people will buckle and will say no to the digital wallet now, but they'll say, okay, yeah, yes to the digital wallet. Then eventually, you know, if they're saying no to the Karagma or the RFID chip right now, they'll be saying yes to it. Okay, because when you're hungry and you're homeless, okay, and you want things to go back to normal, you want to bring it back, and that's the only avenue that you have, and that's the only so-called light that you might see at the end of the tunnel for you, because you being a heathen or a two-third, you're going to take that option, okay, because you want to hold on to this evil world. But the elect are not going to be touched by the charagma, okay, all this other nonsense, okay. The elect are going to be covered with Yahweh Bashem Shai's wings, all right. So this is good news, all right. And we're all going to be put into this predicament soon as well at some point, because if the world is shutting down, even the hopeful elect are going to have to walk away from their daily bread situations, because and ultimately how Bashem Shah will provide. Okay, the Lord did say His servants will eat. All right, but anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. All praise to Yahweh Bashem Shai, Bashem Shalom.